Dr. Richard Hawkins, economics professor and attorney. Yeah, and I know what you mean about getting, I've bitten back my tongue to tell judges a couple of times, you've got to be out of your mind at sentencing. Speaking, it was my job to ask for it, and it was his job to say no. Anyway, given the current economic realities, there's certainly going to be cuts on the things that Nevada needs are something like 150% of the budget. So I appreciate that you'll try to fend off as much cut as you can, but how will you handle? Where would you cut to meet the mandates that are going to be coming down?
Okay, Dan Barrio.
30 seconds apiece, please.
Okay, Dan Barrio. To me, any leader starts, you should be a lead by example. I think there's a lot of waste right now in our organizational structure, the LVMPD. The first thing I would do is I would eliminate the 3 positions of assistant sheriff. I would do away with, or at least reduce greatly in size, the size of our public information office, which is way overstaffed. Legal affairs, the DA is under state statute is our attorney of record for the police department. Why do we have our own legal affairs for Metro? It doesn't make sense. So I need to lead by example. It's the first thing I'm going to do. And I also believe consolidation with the school police and the parks is going to go a long way to reduce cost. And also, you have to be very careful all the time to watch overtime, which is always a big issue.
My name is Mark Beckerly. Responding to that question, first of all, the take-home car program is outrageous. These guys got brand new Crown Vics, sometimes Grand Marquis. They may get called out, use your own vehicle. There's dozens of higher-ups, deputy chiefs, assistant sheriffs, that do not respond to calls, that have company cars. The fuel, the insurance, the upkeep, and the actual cost of the vehicle, outrageous. Secondly, there's units in Metro. Now, I don't know if you all remember what it was like before Metro had a horse detail, but I felt pretty just as much as safe. What are we doing with a bunch of horses that come out twice a year? You know how much that costs for vets, training? They're sending them to schools over the country on how to ride. The veterinarian bills, the grain bills, the stable itself. That's just one example of a unit that has no need to be here. If we need it, we'll do what Ralph Lamb did. He formed a sheriff's posse of cowboys and ropers, and they were more than happy to come out and use it with the horses for free. So I'm going to keep it to 30 seconds. I'll pass it down.
Tim Deem again. The thing is that we're going to have to do the cuts is, one thing, bring Metro down to the national average as far as the salaries. Beginning pay of a Metro officer is $53,000 a year. Beginning pay of a New York cop is $32,000. Same thing with a Detroit cop. You know, some officers that I've spoke to said, well, what about the cost of living? Well, you're telling me that New York is you know, lower cost of living than Nevada or Las Vegas? That's not the case. We have to make cutbacks. We have to bring the officers back down to the national average. You know, we'll work on the benefits, make sure that them and their families have good benefits, but we got to cut the salaries. I don't know if anybody has ever pulled up the budget of their internet site. The amount of overtime alone, you could double our officers. It's amazing. And just in like special events, it's like $400,000 in overtime for special events. Those are who we're getting hired by, the boxing commission stuff. We're being paid for that. How are we adding another $400,000 on top of that? You know, the thing is with the horses, I got off the phone with a veteran to the ASPC and asked him about the horses, and the vet even said that it was too hot out here for the horses. So, you know, we got to get rid of them.
Can I say one point of clarification? As far as special events goes, that is paid from outside. The hotels pay that, so that does not come out of the Metro budget. So that's why that number is so high.
All righty, thank you, Sheriff candidates. If we can get a round of applause for them.